Now, for a lot of newcomers choosing their first enclosure, it is going to be one of these two options. Either a glass aquarium in the various sizes they come in, or one of the Exoterra products in the various sizes they come in as well. And no, not ZoomEd, because ZoomEd sizes suck. But the real question today is going to be, which one actually makes the better enclosure? The Exoterra product, or just a simple glass aquarium? Well, today we are going to be answering that question with 4 main topics, that being the cost of the enclosure, the overall appearance of each setup, the versatility of them, and then lastly, just some pros and cons I feel that each enclosure has. So with all that being said, I guess it's time to sit back, relax, dive into some setups, and roll the intro. And kicking off this list, we're gonna be starting with number 1, the cost of the setup. Obviously, there are 2 categories in hand that are pretty obvious who the winner is, and of course with this one, it's going to be the aquarium. Depending on which type of aquarium you get, of course they come in a variety. 20 talls, longs, 40s, 50s, 80s, 90s, 5,864 gallons. It really depends on what you're looking for, but the average price is going to be anywhere from $20 if you're going for that Petco dollar per gallon sale to around the $100 to $200 length if you're getting the larger setups at the base retail price. However, that price is nothing compared to the price of the Exoterras, which in my opinion feel a little overpriced. You know what? Not a little overpriced. They feel very overpriced. Jesus Christ, man. Now, if we're talking somewhere around the 36 by 18 by 18, you're gonna find that at your local Petco or PetSmart, wherever you go. It's gonna range around $300 plus, which is a bit ridiculous in my opinion, based on the fact that you can get that enclosure right there, that really nice one, for less than that, for $300 shipped to you, and you get the whole thing. Whereas this, $300 plus, I mean, look, Exoterra or nice Zen habitats for $300, free shipping. Wow, that's incredible. I wish I knew where I could get one of those. Hey, right down there in the description, my guy. Well, you're welcome. Moving on. Yeah, going anywhere from like the high 100s at like 175 to 300 plus seems a bit ridiculous for an enclosure that doesn't get bigger than a 36 by 18 by 18. Now there is the 36 by 18 by 36. However, that is a ridiculous price in my humble opinion. Of course, you can go on sale, you know, the Craigslist, Facebook ad sales, things like that. You can find them for a little bit cheaper. However, apples to apples, the aquarium is obviously going to be the cheaper choice out of the 2. But moving on, let's get into the next topic at hand. Is that it's going to be number 2, the overall appearance of each setup. Oh geez, I wonder which one's gonna win this one. Yes, the Exoterra is obviously a nicer looking product than aquarium tanks or terrarium tanks. Obviously, aquariums, it's a glass box with a screen lid on top of it. It doesn't got the fancy little air holes. The Exoterra floating up window things. Exoterra, it's a cooler looking product, that is for sure. In all honesty, when it comes to like bioactive scaping and planarium scaping, anything like plaintiff vivarium, I do like the aquarium a little better. I think they make a nicer display enclosure because you just get that front glass that is that nice enclosure. So anything like my red-eyed tree frog setups, things like that. I like not having the air screen and the folding windows. It kind of makes a distraction for what is overall a really nice piece. However, the conversation isn't what makes a better planted bioactive enclosure, it is what makes a nicer enclosure, what has a nicer appearance. Of course, the Exoterra is gonna win it. It just feels a little better, you know? Of course, the front opening stuff, that is slick, man, that is slick. Unless substrate gets in the door, then it is not slick, then it is actually a huge pain in the butt. Overall, the Exoterra does look nicer in my opinion. I know I'm crapping on them a lot, but I'm voting for the underdog, the aquariums. But yeah, Exoterra is gonna win this round. They got the nice background. Once aquariums start selling background pieces with their tanks, it's over for you, Exoterra. When it comes to the versatility of each setup, it's going to be pretty even, I gotta say. Really, each enclosure can do each thing. Obviously, your 2 biggest faults are gonna be, you know, what is inside the enclosure, like what's going in it. Of course, if you're getting a 20 long, there is a set amount of animals that can go in it, versus if you're getting an Exoterra 18 by 18 by 18, only a certain number of animals can go in it. Can't put a beardy in there. Probably shouldn't put a bearding in a 20 gallon unless it's a baby, but that was just a bad analogy. Okay, by now it's pretty obvious the last couple steps were just gonna be fluff, but now we're getting into the content. What Dakota is known best for? crapping on things. Here we go, the cons, and I guess I'll add some pros of both enclosures. Con number 1 goes for Exoterra. I actually don't like the front opening glass. I don't really have many of the large Exoterras, the 36 by 18 by whatever, the long boys. I only have a couple of them, so I only keep larger animals in a few of them, and that's going to be my jungle carpet, my blue tongue skink. They work well for that. I like that you can open it. Of course, it's a better experience for the animals, the larger animals, because you're not going over top, you're going forward, and that's a bit better. However, my biggest gripe and why I never put breeding pairs, except for that one because I ran out of enclosures, is because of the fact is I hate the front opening enclosures. Boy, I cannot tell you how many baby tokays I had during my first and second year that would just run right through the little crack, the little gap they have between the door. Here's a little B-roll of it. They just go right through it, and then I'm wrangling tiny, quick, little shits all around my room because this thing leaves like this big of a gap that where they can get out of. And let's be clear, it is actually a pretty substantial gap. This isn't something where just the tokay babies can get through. Fucking speed racers. A little known fact of past Dakota, I once had we had a Mexican alligator lizard over at one of the pet stores I used to work at years ago. That got through the gap. I was messing with it in the enclosure, it slipped through the gap, and then I lost that Mexican alligator enclosure. They were going for $350. I lost that for the company, and then I spent the next 6 hours in the giant warehouse of a store trying to find a lizard this big. I guess you can say I have a gripe about Exoterra ever since that day. Hey, maybe you guys haven't had this issue and you think I'm a complete dummy, but I know it is not just me. I've gotten quite a few messages on my Patreon, which by the way, link in description, YouTube, Instagram, things like that, about the Exoterra products for the babies I sell, whether that be crustids, gargoyles, tokays, the fact that they got out of that little gap and now they don't know what to do because they don't want it to happen again. It's kind of a pain in the butt. I get what they were going for with it, but it definitely is a con in my book. Con number 2 for the Exoterra product, and again, this might be more of a personal issue with me, and it's a bit of a smaller gripe, but I am going to talk about it. It's going to be the bottom of their cages. If you look at the bottom of these nice aquarium cages, they are flat, they are nice, they pick up, and as you guys know, I am moving stuff constantly in the building, out of the building, over rooms, moving your stuff around, trying to make it look as nice as I can possibly make it. And the aquariums, it's really easy. It's nice, fragile. Well, it's not fragile. It's nice on my hands picking it up and having a person pick it up. It's not that bad. However, with Exoterra, that is not the case. I don't know what, I'm trying to look at what they did. There's like a groove and then these corners stick out. So there's a space about, I don't know, maybe half an inch, a quarter of an inch in there. And it is sharp, folks. It hurts your hands when you pick up this heavy enclosure. I'm not the kind of guy that empties the whole thing and moves it. I am moving it with all the substrate, making it really heavy, and it hurts. My God, does it hurt? I guess as to why they wanted to make this is for like heat pads and heat tape to get in there. It has that space so it's not crammed right on the aquarium, which can make for a little bit better if you're not using shelving units like I am. You will hold heat a lot better, it will crack the glass, blah, blah, blah. So that's that little gap, or at least there's a little air filtration in there or exchange in there, so it's not just glass on heating utensil. That's not good. However, why'd you make the corner so sharp, Exoterra? I don't like that. And that's what this video is about, me just griping about stuff. I'm an old angry man. And my back hurts. Alright, let's start the video. Oh God, my back. Okay, alright. Okay. Gripe number 3, Exoterra, the front opening doors. Oh, you thought I was done for those. No, it's not the gap I just don't like. I don't like the front opening doors. If you're dealing with, let's say, tokay geckos, because I deal with a lot of tokay geckos, it is much easier when you have an untamed animal inside a space where you can just open the lid and slide it back and forth, so you only have a bit of a gap to go in. So if I'm doing maintenance, changing waters, things like that, I only have to put my hand in this gap, so there is only leave this much of a gap, let's say about this big, where the animal can possibly escape out of, in which I don't have to wrangle it. That is not the case Exoterra. You have this giant, what is 18 divided by 2? You have this giant 9-inch hole by 18 by whatever. It's a big hole. That's what I'm not. We watched this video. Dakota's not good at math, but what I am good at is finding flaws in things. That is what the front door opening glass, my guy. They're charging right at you. People are scared. I'm scared. Have you seen a toolkit gecko? They are scary. Gripe number 4, aquariums. Where's the front opening doors? These things only open from the tops. What the heck? No, in all fairness, Exoterra does win a point with me with the fact that they have front ventilation on top of their top screen. With the aquariums only having the top screen, it's really hard to get that proper ventilation in there. It's a lot of stagnant air only being released from the top. Not very good, so tisk tisk, aquariums, which are usually not used for the fact of reptiles, but are solely used in the most part of aquariums, hence the name aquarium. Gripe number 4, both parties. You both can't keep humidity for shit. What the heck, man? Now, I think this is gonna be a bigger gripe on Exoterra because a lot of their marketing is hinged on these tropical geckos. I mean, you're talking about 12 by 12 by 18s, 18 by 18 by 24s, 18 by 18 by 18, skyscraper is zoom in. There's a lot of these tall that are usually made for arboreal gecko species which require humidity, which your enclosures are shit at, Exoterra. You gotta seal the top with metal tape or some sort of adhesive, whether that be glass, metal tape, a towel, I don't know, just spitting on it a bunch and rub it into the screen. Both suck at keeping humidity in, but it's a bigger suck for you, Exoterra, because you market your enclosures for the animals that require that humidity. But alrighty folks, time for the final verdict. Which enclosure is really the best? Is it the aquarium or the Exoterra? Final verdict is in, and let's see what we got here. It's in my glove, hang on one second. All right, I got the paper that I'm not gonna show on screen, and the winner is Zen Habitats. Yes, Zen Habitats for $300. Free shipping. You'd be insane not to get one of these bad boys. If you want to get a Zen Habitat enclosure, make sure to go down the description down below and get yours today. I mean, I did warn you that the answer would shock you. There you have it, folks. Aquarium versus Exoterra. Which makes the better enclosure? But now it's your turn. Leave me a comment in the comment section. Which one is the better enclosure? That's all. If you haven't had enough of the DBCB Exotics video goodness, hey, we got playlists right here going all into a bunch of stuff, some head-to-head, some better pet stuff, things like that. We got a couple more awesome videos right here, and right down here is where you hit that subscribe button, which I would really, really so much appreciate. It'd mean the world to me, man, honestly. It would mean everything to me if you, viewer, subscribe to the channel just once. I see all 80% of you. Why don't you subscribe? Okie dokie, folks, that's gonna be it for today. Thank you so much. Goodbye.